It is Wednesday, the 29th day of January. The teams have been set for Super Bowl licks. Super Bowl 59, the matchup that the vast majority of the country does not care about. Just what the NFL wanted, though, right? The Eagles will have a lot of fair weather fans in a couple of weeks because most reasonable neutrals in this instance are simply tired of the Chiefs. Personally, I don't think that it's that they're winning as much as they are, but rather how they're winning and just their general personalities as a group. They're a tad insufferable. I like Andy Reid. Seems like a nice fella. In fact, they all seem like nice people. I just don't care for them winning all the time. And I don't care for like the 17 straight one score wins. I don't think that's a skill. How is that a skill? Like that sounds to me like luck. And it's all just annoying. And the way that they win, it's not fun to watch. Like it's not an enjoyable product when they keep winning. Like at least the Patriots when they were winning, it was fun. They were coming from behind, they were blowing teams out, shit like that. At least the second dynasty, the first one was a bit of a slog, admittedly so. But you've got a quarterback with a horseshoe in his ass, and the refs giving them calls that they don't need, and it generally makes for a less than desirable product. And look, the Bills, they lost the game on their own, okay? But the bad officiating didn't help. Like, they missed a penalty. I'm sorry, not a penalty. A plainly obvious first down. I cannot figure how an official whose job is to officiate NFL games looks at that play and says that Josh Allen didn't make the line. Stop. Just stop. And then that Xavier Worthy catch. Like, here's my take on that catch, okay? One, it wasn't a catch. That's one. But two, for some unfathomable reason, they called it a catch on the field. And so therefore, you needed, proper evidence to overturn it. It should have just been an incomplete pass because that's exactly what it was. But nope, they get the ball fucking 20 yards closer and they score. The Buffalo, horrible play calling throughout the game. Defensively, they were okay, not great, but okay. But their secondary couldn't tackle, which was kind of pathetic. But they were so banged up. They were I think they had lost like 5 guys in the secondary over the course of the last 6 weeks or so. But to me, the biggest problem is that they did not give the ball to James Cook enough. They only let him touch the ball 16 times, and he was the best player on the field for both teams. He was the best player on the field. And instead of just giving him the ball constantly, they bring in 2 other backs. I mean, even if he just was in the backfield and you let Allen run the ball, that would have probably been a more effective play than handing off to Johnson or Ray Davis. Didn't make any sense. And now I'm forced to sit through a Super Bowl again that I don't care about. Like, if it was the Lions or the Bills, I would care because I would want them to win, something a little different. But the league doesn't want it that way, does it? There's a great interview with Bill Burr that Rich Eisen did. I think might have been yesterday. You should find it. It was funny. All right, coins. Dems, eggs, snack foods, vapes, coffees, voicemails, and more. On episode number 175 of Complaints and Observations.
Still, a voyage into the mundane and an exercise in futility. Swimming in the absurd while drowning in unearned self-importance. Entirely unworthy of your time. It is the world's worst podcast. This is Complaints and Observations with Dave LaPointe. Who the hell is Dave LaPointe?
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
All right, what's happening? Happy Hump Day. I'm finding like the Wednesday morning recording time to be okay. Like it's literally, honestly, it's a bit easier than trying to do it Monday nights. So we just keep bopping around and bopping around, and I don't want to do it on weekends. Like I spent last night kind of getting the outline in order and making notes and whatnot, and then today overslept because I slept like dog shit last night. So a lot of waking up. I woke up at like, I don't know, I want to say 4:15, which is, I don't know, kind of normal for me. It's somewhat normal for me on days where I know the alarm is going off in an hour. You know what I mean? I just boy, sleeping is such a pain. I can fall asleep no problem. Falling asleep is not the issue. Usually, last night it was. Rolled around for what felt like an eternity. It was probably 5 minutes. And then woke up a handful of times. Kind of um, annoyed by a handful of different things. The tinnitus in my left ear is just all of a sudden over the course, and it's funny. It came up in conversation a couple weeks ago with friends, and ever since then, it seems as if it's gotten much worse. So it's driving me nuts in the middle of the night sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And last night was one of those times. And you just sit there and it's just screaming. And you can't stop it, you know? You got to kind of hope that the white noise that you're playing in the background is somewhat helpful. So you focus on that. And sometimes it helps. But yeah, so whoa is your boy. But yeah, so I woke up way too early and then fell back to sleep around probably 4:30, 4:45, meaning to get up today at 6:15 to get cranking. Get your mind out of the gutter, assholes. But I didn't. I ended up I woke up at like 5 minutes to 8, which for me that's late, and I don't care for it. But here we are. Bright and early, even though I probably won't get to around to posting this until tonight. The way that the old schedule works here. But, there's a handful of things that I wanted to bring up and talk about that have been just so fucking annoying to me over the course of the last week. It's been a week. And here we are, just a bit more than a week into the second term of Donald J. Trump. And he's already on vacation to play golf. I mean, I don't get it. He's a fucking shitty golfer and he's wasting our money to do it. But it's not a problem. You know, Obama plays golf 4 times in a year and they're screaming at the top of their lungs. In the 4 years of Donald Trump's first term, it was over $150 million were spent on expenses related to him playing golf. Most of that is probably Secret Service coverage, snipers in various locations in case all of a sudden a random person tries to shoot him. Here's an aside. Why haven't we heard more about that guy? I find that very odd. Would-be assassins are generally somewhat famous. I couldn't even tell you the guy's name. That's neither here nor there. Over $150 million over the course of 4 years. And it's almost as if he's looking to surpass that this time around, as he's already out golfing. Good for him, right? He apparently has nothing else to do. Took a few hours off from ruining the lives of numerous Americans. But hey, good for you, man. You've worked hard. You deserve it, right? Said an underreported outbreak of avian flu. They could see the price of eggs. The price of eggs go through the roof. And look, yeah, I'm guessing that's related. I'm guessing some fucking sicko lefty, decided to spring avian flu, and now it's just uh, gone wild. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but if that were to come out, wouldn't shock me one bit. But because of that, the cost of eggs eventually, and if it hasn't already, I got a text from my mother the other day. A dozen eggs at Aldi, Aldi of all places, was $5.19. Now, I didn't see it. I'm not going to call my mother a liar. And if you do, I'll find you and I'll fucking strangle you. We clear? $5.19 at Aldi. The discounty butcher shop down the street from my house. $4.99 for a dozen white eggs. White eggs? Ended up buying 2 dozen white eggs at Market Basket. $4.19 a piece. Like, I have to eat white eggs. Awful. So that's one problem. I'm sure that, eventually poultry will be an issue. Um, now there's all kinds. I heard a report last night about cattle possibly being affected, which, will also make more money for the beef industry because they'll have to raise prices to react. Again, it's all fucking bullshit. It's all bullshit. Everything in this country is done for one reason. That's to make somebody more money. That is it. But the increase of egg prices just flies in the face of all of his various campaign promises, which was such a big driver as you got close to election day. The cost of eggs, are they over that now? So the people that were screaming about eggs, they're cool paying $5 a dozen for eggs. Got it. Makes sense. Meanwhile, he's playing chicken with Colombia. Colombia, mind you, who had been working with the previous administration to send migrants back over the course of the last 2 years. Like, we had been sending them back regularly. This was not a new phenomenon. This wasn't as if this current administration said, hey, I got an idea. Let's throw these people on a plane. Nope. It's just that we did it with a touch more humanity previously. So there's 80 migrants, 80, and Colombia wouldn't take them on a military jet, and I don't blame them. I don't want that fucking shit in my country. Get out of here. So what does our fearless leader do? Oh, I'm gonna slap a 25% tariff on Colombia. Oh, Colombia, what are they? Yeah, uh, coffee. You fucking ignoramus. So now they're willingly fucking with our coffee. Now, granted, I see nothing coming of this because we blinked. Because Colombia said, "Fuck off, fuck you." And so my assumption is that threat of a tariff is not going to happen. But it's that kind of petty bullshit that we're going to have to deal with constantly every time he doesn't get his own fucking way. Yeah, 25%. Good luck. Like, if that sticks, good luck. Because coffee is going to go through the fucking roof. And it's going to piss a lot of people off. And hopefully on both sides. But I wouldn't count on it. And no, I'm not getting into a lesson on tariffs because if you don't understand by now how they work, then you're the fucking problem. Fear not, though. You can now spend some of that hard-earned money on a digital meme coin with your hero on it that'll likely be worthless for you in short order. Continuing to support the grift is apparently what his supporters are looking for. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. But the thing, and it's funny because he's also like suspending federal payments. So basically, funding Medicare and Medicaid. Yeah, he wants to pause that. For what? For what? It's a show. Then I'm going to send Stephen Miller, who could quite possibly be the most punchable human on earth, to CNN to fucking be a douchebag. And Jake Tapper sitting there like, get these fucking morons off the television, please. Jake Tapper. Like, where's like the gumption from somebody on CNN? There isn't, because now they're part of the team. I'd have more faith in fucking Rachel Maddow, angry lesbian, interviewing Stephen Miller than fucking Jake Tapper, fucking boner. So that's another problem, and if you have parents over the age of 65 who happen to be on Medicare, that affects you. I don't care what color you are, or what, or religion, or whatever. I don't care who you are. Most seniors in this country have Medicare. And this fucking asshole said he was going to stop funding it or pause funding. So if you have a parent that needs prescription, all of a sudden, during that time, what was it? Not yet. Was it yesterday or the day prior? I can't remember what day it was. Forgive me. I'm ill prepared to complain. But, it's like 14 hours without TikTok, 14 hours without Medicare. Which would be worse? Which would be worse? Apparently, to the vast majority of this country, it's the loss of yet another fucking compromised social media platform. Our heads are on straight, eh? Yeah, America. It's all going to come back to roost. And this is, I have a friend, Jacques, who does the Carnival Personnel podcast, and he sent me a very, very serious and long message on the Instagram. And all of his points were entirely accurate, talking about how some of his family members are quite scared about what's going to happen. Friends of his children, that their families are literally going back to Brazil because they're afraid of deportation. Folks that have been here for X number of years, productive members of society, taxpayers, but they're going home. Or I shouldn't even say home. They're going back to Brazil because of the fear of deportation. And it's going to ruin Jacques' family because his son, his best friend, is part of that family. That's the kind of shit that you're going to see often. Often. But here's the flip side to this, right? You're also going to see it from his supporters, who, for some weird fucking reason, I've seen too many stories now of people who seem to think that their immigrants are more important than all of the other immigrants. So the rich white family with the au pair who's from I don't know, any place on earth that isn't the United States. the threat of deportation for their very, very special nanny, who should be looked upon differently than all the others. That's the kind of shit that's going to come to roost for these motherfuckers. And then eventually they're going to realize that, you're not special. He doesn't care about you. His administration doesn't care about you. And he sure as shit doesn't care about anybody that's brown or anybody that's not a white male American. But we're going to have to live with it now for the next 4 years. We're going to have to live with all the fucking bullshit performance art in Congress. We're going to have to deal with all the bullshit of the left sitting on their fucking hands and doing nothing. Like the whole thing with Pete Hesketh, who has zero business running the Department of Defense. Zero. And honestly, I don't think the guy makes it 6 months. I really, really don't. But that whole thing was performative because you had a bunch of Republicans who said they weren't going to vote for the guy. And if there were 4 Republicans that voted no, then he wouldn't have been confirmed. 4. Well, you had 3 who didn't. And then there was a 4th, Tom Tillis, who said he wasn't, that, he had a conversation with the guy's wife, ex-wife, mother, whatever. And he said he was confident that he wasn't going to vote to confirm it. Well, sure enough, he did. Because then he could still be confirmed. They had that fucking puppet, J.D. Vance, up there to give the tie-breaking vote. And look at that. Wow. As if it's magic. Let's try to instill some sort of confidence in the country by thinking that there are some Republicans who actually give a flying fuck that are in Congress. They don't. They don't. And here's the thing that kills me, right? This is a long-winded segment, so feel free to skip it. The Democrats need to isolate. Like, they need to fucking... And this is I've repeated this how many fucking times, that these morons cannot get a cohesive, clear message amongst themselves, ever. I'm fairly certain that Democrats in Congress don't talk to one another. Because they're all talking about different things. Every one of them talks about something different. And it makes no sense. Do you see what the other side is doing and what they've always done since probably at least Reagan's second term? Cohesion, together. Even the shittiest of ideas and the shittiest of things that are not going to be beneficial to the American public, they were together. Yet the Democrats can't seem to fucking do that. But they need to just entirely disengage from the other side. They need to disrupt. They need to basically steal the Republican handbook. Steal it. And do exactly what they did every time there's been a Democratic president. Like, make up bullshit about one of his fucking stupid sons and then have it be a gigantic scandal for way too fucking long. It's not made up, but take the petty small charges and just drum up nonsense. That's just, it's not. There's so much more that they could do. Quorums, just calling votes all the time. Like, make it uncomfortable. Like, you have zero power, but you do have some things that you can do to make it worse. And then what you need to do is all get together and have a cohesive message. Like, disengage enough to make to just have these fucking people collapse. Like the ego is going to get them. I'm convinced of it. And then start your own fucking stupid project. Call it like Initiative 2029. You know, have some fancy schmancy fucking playbook produced by the George Soros Society. I don't know. Like lean into it. Say when we take back government in 4 years, like you just like sales, you have to say it. It's like it's that assumptive close. We're going back to 1970s era tax rates for billionaires. Abortion legal as fuck, free healthcare and aftercare for mothers and child and newborns. Medicare for all, medications at prices only 10% above cost. No commercials for drugs, cannabis legalized across the country and heavily taxed. Term limits for legislators. Legislators cannot invest in firms related to their committee assignments, and neither can their friends and family or anyone else, pets or blah blah blah, whoever, to gain an advantage. I mean, that is just the tip of the iceberg. Make it as liberal and as annoying as fuck. But you know what? Even if a lot of that shit is pie in the sky crap, it's a singular message. Like there is no reason for them to not do this, other than they're in on the gag. There's maybe a handful on the left that I can confidently say would not be in on the gag. And even them, they could just be fucking Oscar-worthy actors. Bernie Sanders, AOC, people like that. Chris Murphy. Like, maybe you're just outstanding actors, yet you're benefiting from all of this shit somehow. I don't know. I hope not, because then it's a singular party system, which is how it's kind of been anyways over the course of the last 40 years or so. It's a very frustrating time in this country for a lot of people, and it's going to get worse before it gets any better. So you may as well just kind of sit back and take it. That was a long-winded political rant that I did not prepare for and I did not want to do. But here we are. Ugh. If you don't like it, I mean, I get it. You know? I wouldn't want to listen to a know-nothing moron rant about politics either. But it's my show. It's that wonderful stream of consciousness that I've talked about often. A couple weeks ago, I said something about Peyton and Eli Manning in their commercials and how awful they were, and how Eli is so stiff that's become the running gag. It's just how stiff he is, and they even said it in one of the commercials for this horseshit Kick of Destiny thing. Now, you'll have to forgive me here because I don't recall if the prize, quote unquote, has been the same every year, which is a share of $2 million in free bets. If you've ever used one of these sites, you know that the free bets are kind of garbage. Um, and it's just it's a ploy. Like it's a horrible ploy to get more people to spend more of their money. I am not opposed to gambling in this country. I'm opposed to all the fucking advertising. It is just incessant. It's become way worse than drug commercials. No, I shouldn't say that. It's on par now, where the only commercials you see on television are drugs and gambling. Mike Judge fucking nailed it with Idiocracy because we have just become so fucking stupid that we put up with crap like that. And I'm not anti-gambling by any stretch of the imagination. I'm smart enough at this point, surprisingly, to know that I suck at gambling, so I don't do it. But god damn, it's just I almost said golly, and the only reason what did I hear? I heard somebody used the word gosh the other day. Gosh. I'm like, God, what a fucking stupid word. Gosh. And then I'm like, nope, nope, there's one worse. Golly. Golly. But it's just become too much. It's too much. And you'll never see like a I shouldn't say never, because you probably will at some point. Like the number of people in this country that have basically lost every dime they had, you know, gambling legally. You've always heard the stories about people that are in deep with bookies and stuff like that. You've always heard those, but they were rare. My assumption is that they're not as rare as they once were, right? And it like you can't have like a tab with DraftKings. So you have to literally pump money into it in order to use it. But I mean, then there's the people that probably have 5 or 6 of these fucking apps on their phone, and they've pumped money into all of them, and they have nothing to show for it. But we get to watch Eli and Peyton kick. Isn't that exciting? I can't wait. I mean, I could, but and look, admittedly, it'll probably be somewhat entertaining. Like all the shit with Gronk in DraftKings the last couple of years, where he tried to do it, and it was just funny. My guess is that it's going to be just as funny. We'll see. I would want them to give Eli a forum to just be himself. Let him be himself because he's probably funny, but you don't know. But I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl because of the commercials and the food. I have a very long list of potential recipes for the day, and I'm looking forward to creating one of them, maybe two if I decide to get fucking wild. I'm also looking forward to the Royal Rumble on Saturday. Now, this has come up in conversation previously, but I enjoy professional wrestling. I have for damn over 40 years now. That is wild to say. But I enjoy it. I'm not as deeply invested as I may have been once upon a time, but I'm still invested because there's never really been a time where I didn't occasionally watch, right? Um, and so it's fun. Like I find it to be incredibly fun. It's the only TV show that I really watch religiously because I don't like scripted drama. However, I do like scripted sports entertainment. I had originally planned to be with my wrestling pals, including a friend of the show, Scott. Um, but this is what happens when your wife plans things. Like, I was supposed to work on Saturday, but then there was a whole thing about a friend of ours who's turning 50, and they want to go to Newport. It's like, what? What? Newport in February? Who does that? Well, us, apparently, because be spending an evening in Newport, Rhode Island, which, whatever. It'll be fine. And here's the thing. So, our friend Mike, he likes professional wrestling. So, my hope is that as it is his birthday, he decides to fire up the Rumble. If not, I'll have to watch it on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it for a couple of reasons. One, I'm very curious how they spin a handful of these storylines. I'm very curious to know how and what they do with John Cena. Now, if you're not familiar, John Cena, who is currently the face of McDonald's, which kills me, is this is the last year of his wrestling career. He is one of the greats, even though he has 5 moves. He is one of the greats, but he has entered into the Royal Rumble, and my hope is that he wins, goes to WrestleMania, wins a title, and then becomes uh, the he surpasses Ric Flair in terms of number of championship reigns. That's the hope. However, it's not going to be the main event. It'll be the main event for one night, probably be Saturday and not Sunday, because apparently I have to fucking watch Cody Rhodes and The Rock fight. Blah. I'm not a Cody Rhodes guy by any stretch, yet he is currently the face of the company. It would make for a very, very good story if he turned heel. I don't see that happening. But he's going to fight The Rock, who's not a wrestler anymore. I'm sorry, he's not. You know, and so I don't need to see that match, but apparently that's what we're getting, which is fucking stupid because Roman Reigns, who is terrific, what's he gonna do? Like, Cody has his belt, so it needs to be Reigns and Rhodes again. That's what it needs to be, but it won't. The Rock, who sits on the board, is going to force his way into the main event at WrestleMania. That's exciting, huh? Anyways, that's a lot of wrestling talk after talking about fucking politics for 20 minutes. Ay, ay, ay. What else? Uh, a big Champions League day today. So 3 o'clock, CBS or Paramount. 12 matches? 12 Champions League matches. They've changed this fucking format. It's kind of fucking stupid, but it's still the best of the bunch. The best of the best. Check it out. I think that'll be lunch break time. Fire that up for a bit. Watch a little soccer. That's all I get for soccer today. I don't want to talk about West Ham because there's nothing happening right now. We're okay. We're fine. A good second half the other day against a really good Aston Villa team who's in the Champions League. Uh, we came out of there with a draw, which is fine. Which is kind of it's a point more than I expected. So hopefully we're on the right track. Now we just need to add bodies because boy, we have no one that can score goals. But I do have pretty sure there's a voicemail here from my pal Mike. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get that one fired up for you, and I know this is gonna be a gem. I just know it.
David, it's Michael here. I appreciate you coming through last week, putting up that show. I listened to about half of it, and then other stuff got in the way. Really felt like I needed to give you the full attention. Just wanted to bring up something that's been on my mind here. As a fellow slash portly kind of guy, was wondering what what your deal is like. Why you don't talk about food more? Because I know you have some strong feelings there. You have to, as do we all. But so maybe that's the thing that I call in about. But when it comes to food, I'm really curious, as to what's kind of your secret kind of vice when it comes to food, and I feel like we're all close enough here, all five of us, that, we can say, if one of us goes and, cuts into a cookie dough log at 12 o'clock at night for a couple slices, like, I feel like that's accepted here. So I just want to know what your vice was. For me, stacks of pepperoni, those things don't last too long. Lipton's onion dip, the ghetto dip, mix that stuff, some sour cream, pound it. If you're at a, say you're at a party and they have that, I'll take a cheese and cracker and just dip the whole thing in that Lipton. It's the best. I mean, that's living right there. Couple of hacks I wanted to bring up. So if you ever have cake frosting left over, okay? Say you ever bake a cake, take wheat thins, dip it in like it's chips and dip. Best thing ever. Or little sandwiches. Another one, if you have leftover fortune cookies, take a fortune cookie and a half of a Reese's peanut butter cup. Put them in your hand and eat it together. It's amazing. It's like a crunchy peanut butter cup. Anyways, let me know what your what your disgusting kind of down low and dirty food vices are. I think we all would want to know. Maybe we have some more hacks we can all share together.
Well then, he basically called me fat like multiple times there. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. What's my food vice? Jeez, I don't even know. Look, a lot of people would be surprised to know that my diet is not horrific by any stretch. At least, I don't consume, not like a huge fast food guy. I'll eat it, but I'm not like I don't eat it every day. Um, if I eat it once a week, that's a lot. So, I mean, there's that. I'm not like a huge, like I'm not eating like, a bunch of donuts. Although donuts, that could be a vice. Oof, just thought of that. There were munchkins in the office yesterday, and it took pretty much every ounce of my being not to grab the box and just bring it back to my desk. I think I had 3 of them throughout the course of the day. So maybe that's a vice, donuts. Ooh. And then hacks, geez, I don't know, man. I'm not that clever. Like wheat thins and cake frosting, I can see that. The salty wheat thin with the sweet. Yeah, the salt and sweet thing, that stuff's always good. Fortune cookies and peanut butter cups, those. Ooh, boy. That sounds like something you could whip up, though. Make your own peanut butter cups and crumble up some fortune cookies. That could be a win. Why don't I talk about food more? Well, maybe it's because I'm a self-loathing fat, Mike. Maybe that's it. Something that would need years of therapy to address and overcome, but I've never chosen to address it. Maybe it's that, Mike. Funyuns are one. Like, I have zero qualms about destroying an entire bag of Funyuns on my own. Zero. And then, like, it's a lot of quantity on occasion, right? When I'm at my fattest, it's 4 Oreos, a handful of chocolate chips, and then 4 more cookies if there's some around. That's all after dinner. But hacks, yeah, I don't really have one that instantly comes to mind. I'll have to think about that. Food hacks. Like weird, as you called it, down and dirty food hacks. I did like how you said that, by now we all know each other, all five of us. That's probably accurate. I'm also not a wake up in the middle of the night and eat person. And I can honestly say, I don't think that I've ever like got up at 12 o'clock and dove into a log of cookie dough. I've never understood people who did do that. Like, how the fuck do you go back to sleep after that? You see it in movies all the time where someone gets up in the middle of the night and, like, eats ice cream or fucking tears into the Thanksgiving turkey or some dumb shit. That is so lost on me. I have no idea how that's possible. Because that is not something that I can do. But if you can, congrats. He also called me portly, which was funny. Although the Google Voice translator said Port Lee, Port, new word, capital Lee, Port Lee, which I'm hoping there's a town named somewhere, Port Lee. To look that up. Yeah, maybe I should talk about. But I mean, if I'm talking about food, right? I'm gonna talk about uh, like some of the shit I've made at tailgates because quite frankly, the best part about being a season ticket holder in my mind is tailgating 8 times a year. I fucking love tailgating, and it has nothing to do with like going out and getting shit faced. I'm beyond that at this point. Now it's about the meal. Like it's about cooking something fucking good before the game. Like I am now. I like my smash burgers. Legit are fucking fantastic. I make a dynamite smash burger. So I love doing that. Like I love experimenting with different shit. Like I tried making onion rings and fries at the tailgate, like on top of the fucking flat top. Oh, it didn't come out too bad. It was a very, very quick experiment. But yeah, sometimes some things come out better than others, but boy, like that's the kind of shit that I like. I really, really love the Blackstone flat top stuff. Love that crap. Um, I made a chili the other day that I brought into work that came out fucking incredible. Made a turkey last Thanksgiving before last. Brought that into work and it came out great. So I mean, if we're gonna talk about food, it's gonna be like meals, grilling, shit like that. I do not have the patience to smoke meat. I own an electric smoker. I've used it, I think, twice, maybe 3 times. I just don't have the patience for it. Like, it's taken me a long time to just not crank the heat up to like super high on anything that I'm making. It's taken a lot. I am a horribly impatient person. Smoking meats is not for me. If I knew I had like a whole day of like other shit to do, I don't know, maybe I should start thinking about that. Huh. Well, you may have sparked something, Mike, so thank you. Thank you for calling me fat multiple times. Not all of us can be fucking 6'9" and ride a Peloton 17 miles a day. I don't even know if that's what you're doing. I have no clue. Forgive me. But yeah, I appreciate that. Now I have like another thing to talk about. I got to talk about shit that's not politics because I'm fucking tired of it. Ugh. All right, it is time for everyone's favorite part of the show, the end, and three gripes. I may have more than three, but we're gonna stick to just calling this three because I think anything more than that. All right, before I even get into it, right? There's one thing that really fucking pissed me off the other day. I get off the train. I'm in South Station. Okay, now it is 7:30 in the morning. 7:30. Get off the train, and this fucking douchebag pulls out his vape and starts puffing on the vape. Now, it's a weed vape. It's 7:30 in the morning. And while I am all for the legalization of cannabis, the mass legalization of cannabis, I am not for fucking public weed smoking at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not for it. Just like I'm not for someone getting off the train and pulling out a vape that smells like fucking cotton candy. I'm not for someone getting off the train and instantly lighting a cigarette. I'm also not, for someone cracking a beer on the platform at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not for any of those things. Somehow, way too many fucking weed people have just taken this and run with it. Like, buddy, it is not kosher to be smoking weed at 7:30 in the morning on the platform at South Station. It ain't. Unless you're a fucking homeless transient who doesn't know any better. But you're not because, you're dressed somewhat professionally. It's more of a business cash you got going on. But you take the cash and you times 10 by puffing on your vape, not just once, but numerous fucking times on that platform. And it's not a short platform. Fuck, like, what on fucking earth? The entitlement of human beings, not even the entitlement of Americans these days, is astonishing to me. Astonishing. Oh, that fucking pissed me off so much. Like, should it have? Probably not. But it did. It pissed me off. And it wasn't just me. I mean, there were other people who were like, what the fuck's this guy doing? But he's oblivious. And you know what? Doesn't care. On one hand, I respect it. On the other hand, just uh, a simple, like, honestly, it just I can't even fucking express it. How fucking annoying it was. It just was not necessary. Which leads me to gripe number one, being sick in public. Also, not fucking necessary. Listen, no one needs to be in a public setting having to worry about some asshole near them that's sick. If you're sick, stay home. Stay home. Your job, I assure you, is not important enough for you to be fucking walking around and spreading whatever it is that you have. Because if you're riding the train with my sorry ass, I guarantee you your job is not important enough that you need to be there. And here's the other thing, like a very, very small ask of you is to cover your fucking mouth when you cough, you goddamn animal. There's zero need for it. Zero. But you're just a selfish fuck. And that's the thing. See? Goes back to what I said about the weed smoking guy. You're just entitled. You seem to think that you're sick, so it's fine. You can spread your shit amongst everyone else. No. And don't say, "Oh, you wear a mask." No, don't do that either. You know what? Stay home. Stay home. Oh, but what if they don't have sick time? That's a different issue altogether. And I'm happy to get into that if you'd like, but it's a different issue. Oh, it's fucking so stupid. And there's nothing worse than sitting on the train and the person behind you just coughing incessantly, like into the back of your fucking head. So you got to get up and move. Well, yeah, because I don't want to fucking deal with that shit. Gripe number 2, charging cords. When is enough enough? You, me, everyone else you know that's under the age of, say, 65 already has about 24 different cords with a variety of different ports, some of which you don't even fucking know most of which you don't even know where they came from, with ports that you've never seen before, you don't recognize at all. And yet, there are still way too many things that come with another cord. As an example, this is very weed heavy gripes, huh? Jeez. My wife purchased a vape product at the local weed store, and the fucking thing came with a USB-C cord. It's a disposable vape. Like, it literally says disposable on the fucking thing, on the package. Disposable. So it's bad enough that this thing that you're buying is going to get thrown in the trash, but now you're stuck with another fucking charging cord that is going to go into a... We literally have a box of cords. And there's way more. Like, I'm literally right now sitting at my desk. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 different chords that are sitting here, and I don't know what they're from. I like that's just at one small, I don't know, what's this, like 4x2 desk? Enough. It's just another thing to fucking throw in the trash. And I'm sure there's like ways to recycle these things, but as with all recycling in this country, it's fucking half-assed, and nobody really fucking cares about it. So you can't really do anything, but you're just stuck with a box of cords. And then when you need a cord, you go to look for one. Yeah, none of those work. Fuck off, charging cords. I'm tired of them. I don't need any more. Right, number 3, AI. I'm out. I'm out. If you're in, hey, congratulations. But I think I'm now at, and I have been for a while, but I am now officially in the get off my lawn phase of my life. I don't need it. I'm fed up with it. I don't trust it. I don't care about it. I'm done hearing about it. I'm done pretending to care about it. I'm done with people thinking it's going to be life changing. Certainly could be, when my job and a ton of other jobs are wiped out because companies have far more control over AI than humans. So they just, dump the humans. There are far too many people that are cheering this shit on as if it's like somehow going to benefit you beyond funny memes. Like, is that the trade-off? Like, you use it and give up your I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, I hate being stupid. Fuck. You just give up yourself, basically. Like, the number of people who've like literally sold the rights to their voice. And here's the thing, like, right? Shitty little podcast guy. Who the fuck knows if sometime down the road my voice is going to be hijacked by an AI bot, and now there's some AI that sounds like this fat fucking dummy. But it's all the rage. It's all the news. It's the only thing you fucking hear about. You hear about how, how we're giving $500 billion to a company to develop fucking AI shit that, and then you've got China getting in on it now, not just once but twice. Like, this DeepSeek one yesterday was a big fucking deal. DeepSeek, better than fucking OpenAI, better than fucking Meta, all this shit. And it was the #1 app all of a sudden, and everyone is all flipping out about it. Well, guess what happened? Alibaba just put out their own AI model that it says is better than DeepSeek. So it's just going to keep going. And you know what the other problem too is? It's glorified Google. Like, look, break it down to its simplest form. It's glorified Google, right? It's like you ask it a question, it gives you an answer. The same as typing in a fucking question into Google, it gives you the same fucking shit. But like the cost and the energy associated to, like, as if it wasn't bad enough that we're sapping this planet of its resources on a regular basis. Now we're going to have dozens and dozens of these fucking AI models and AI engines just, using up all kinds of electricity so that some dumb fucking idiot can tell it, oh, make me an image. Show me as a. I'm going to use my buddy Jeff as an example. Show me as a wrestler. And it gives you 8 fucking images of yourself as you're a pro wrestler. No. No, that does zero for me. I have no fucking use for it. I don't want to see results when I type something into Google. I don't want nonsense AI results from that. But you can't fucking turn it off. You can't turn it off, and that's what's going to happen. Like eventually there's going to be a split at some point, and I don't know when, and I don't know what. But like it's going to be, we're going to get back to a basic internet where people want to use the basic internet and don't want all this shit attached to it. That day cannot come soon enough. But the other problem too with AI is it's not actually benefiting anybody beyond funny memes. All it's doing is making rich people more fucking rich. But apparently, again, that's what half the fucking country wants. God damn. All right, that's it. I've gone on way too fucking long. I was hoping for a short shift today, and it didn't happen. Now I gotta go to work. You'll find me on Instagram, maybe. You'll find me on Threads, maybe. You won't find me on Facebook. Fuck Facebook. I gotta get rid of all these fucking things. But then how do you advertise? But again, who the fuck cares? Nobody listens to this shit. Oh, God. Now, I always used to say, I would much prefer that Google knows all about me as opposed to Facebook. And now, like, what's the fucking difference? Like, they're all in the same fucking boat. And it's funny, you have, like, Bill Gates trying to come out and say he's, like, not a Trump guy. Yeah, he's a Trump guy. And again, like, whatever. Like, you're beholden to shareholders, so I get it. I get all those guys to a point. Unless you're throwing up Roman salutes. Fucking idiot. God, it's just I don't know, dude. This whole thing is fucking fucked. I need to move. Anyways, I may or may not be back next week. Who knows? Um, but look, I say this with all the love in my heart. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Godspeed. Ta ta.
I'm without speech. I'm speechless.